Angeles, California. This is the Viking Horn. On today's show, we'll be talking about Favre's ankle, Percy Harvin. But first, let's take a look at how last season ended. Derek.
What a game. I don't think it gets much better than that NFC Championship. I thought it was more entertaining per minute than the Super Bowl. I thought the Super Bowl was relatively boring, especially in the second half. Yeah. It had everything. It had high scoring. It had some great hits. What I want to ask you guys is, what is the outcome of that game if it's played in the Metrodome instead of the Superdome?
That game in the Metrodome, I think you just take the score, flip-flop it. Vikings win in overtime.
Oh, I like what you're saying. I believe that there would have been none of those turnovers, or they wouldn't have led to anything that the Saints could have got from it. I'm saying it would have been 41-14 Vikings.
Harvin returned in the last preseason game. Ben, what do you think about the other injuries? Obviously, himself included, Percy Harvin.
Yeah, Vikings are just a few key injuries away from being hands down the best team in the NFL. Percy Harvin, migraine headaches, no secret. It's been plaguing him his whole life. Last season, even gave him some troubles. This year, though, we got some great news. Newest test came in. Doctors say they pinpointed the origin of the migraines, which means they're going to be more effectively able to at least lessen or control them. Yeah, they're not going to go away, but they'll definitely be more under control. That's great news for the Vikings and for fantasy owners everywhere that got him in the late round pickup. I think Favre, as long as he can get up and be on a couple feet, even if he's got broken arms, he's going to win us some football games. With that said, supposedly they did drain a significant amount of pus, maybe like a baseball size of pus, from his foot after the last preseason game, and supposedly it felt much better after that. So, with that said, I just think that adds to the fact that he's gonna be good to go for the regular season. He's gonna play through it. This is his last year. He's retiring. He's gonna put up with pain because he wants to go out on a high note. And the only note you could go out on higher than last season is winning a Super Bowl. But brings up the question: this Favre, are you in? Are you out? Are you him and your Han? It's driving the nation crazy. As a Viking fan, Derek, what does it mean to you?
Well, I tell you, there was a lot of negativity in the general football community over Favre. Was he a prima donna? Does he just need his players' comforting words to, oh, please come back, Brett? I look at it from a different perspective. Here's a team with a lot of great players. They were this close last year to going to the Super Bowl, probably would have beat the Colts. Here's three passionate guys: Jared Allen, Stephen Hutchinson, and the kicker, Ryan Longwell, Brett's good friend, that actually care enough to go down and say, hey, we can win this thing. We really care. We care about winning. How often do you see that with so many teams? Do you see that with Cleveland? Do you see that with Buffalo? Carolina? These are teams that don't care that they're mediocre because they're not going to be any better. Carolina, they lost Julius Peppers. They let Jake Delhomme go. They kept Matt Moore and drafted Jimmy Clausen. That's their quarterbacks for this year. They're just going to be mediocre, 5-11 at best. But here is a team, the Vikings actually went down there and said, come on, we can win this thing. That shows heart. That shows that they want to win, and I like it. I'm excited for that spirit, and I think you're going to see a lot out of Steve Hutchinson and Jared Allen this year.
Great point. Now, you made a point of saying they just let people go. The Vikings did let Chester Taylor go, and we got Toby Gerhart to replace him. Ryan, what do you think of Toby Gerhart and his role as a Viking and losing Chester Taylor? What does that mean to the Vikings?
It means a lot. Before Adrian Peterson came, he was running 1,200, 1,400 yards a season. So ultimately, he is a huge loss.
Chester Taylor is
the bomb of the week.
The Viking Thor.
Oh. Now, Toby Gerhart, I believe, is going to be a very consistent player for the Vikings for a long time to come. He did a wonderful job at Stanford for the Pac-10. Obviously, it's a faster league than what the Pac-10 is. This is the National Football League. We don't have the rights for that.
You can still say it, though. We love you, NFL.
Yes. And what we do on the Viking Horn, of course, is we talk about the mediocre of the worst.
It's what I like to call the best smelling poop.
Yes.
There's a lot of bad teams in the NFL, and we just want to pick a team that's trying. At least they're going out there and attempting something on third down rather than a draw play when it's 3rd and 10. They actually try to maybe score a touchdown when they're down 20 points going into half with a minute left instead of just running out the clock. I gotta say, I hate to pick this team because they're in our division, but I think Detroit is a team on the up and up. They got Javid Best, who's going to be a playmaker in the backfield, and Sugg is a beast. A little crazy, perhaps, as we saw with the Jake Delhomme hit down in Cleveland, but
he's hungry.
I think Detroit's got some pieces in place, and I think they're going to be improved.
Yeah, I think my team's going to be Seattle. I think Seattle's going to be the best of the worst, so to speak. The smart person in the dumb class, the non-stinky poop. Wait a second. Excuse me.
No, that's fair game.
Okay,
that's in the club.
A little stinky, maybe.
Yeah. So my pick is going to be Seattle. I believe that they're going to have a better improved team. You know, they can easily win that division that is very, very poor, the poorest in the National Football League.
Amen.
I believe that they'll be able to finish 7-9, 8-8, and they've got a good hiring and a coach who ran away from USC.
I'm going to have to go with the team that finally got rid of their $1 million man, Jamarcus Russell. Thank you, Oakland Raiders, for finally pulling your head out of your a-hole. I hate the Raiders. I will continue to hate the Raiders, but I cannot help but think they're going to actually be a better team now that they got rid of a cancer. Jason Campbell, not a big fan of him, but I think he's twice the man that Jamarcus Russell is. I think he's a ample 8-8 quarterback. I think he's got a young wide receiving core. Somewhat solid defense, and you take away the Chargers, who are less Vincent Jackson. You got another crappy division. You got the Chiefs, who can barely tie their own shoes, and you got the Denver Broncos, who have a mongoloid for a quarterback who was crying on. I don't want to get complaining already, but crying on national television about how he tried to tackle some guy after an interception, and the guy tried to hit him. You throw an interception and you try to tackle someone, you deserve to get hit.
Also, this show, we're going to try to improve as the year goes on. We're here. We've got some paraphernalia on the table, but we're hoping to maybe get a better set to have a little better flow of the show. We're going to try to improve, and we're going to try to motivate these bad NFL teams to take our lead and try to do something.
Which leads us to our next segment. Let's get angry! My beef of the week is Big Vajayjay Peyton Manning. Peyton, quit being a pussy. There's a new rule meant to protect the referees that have been getting the hell knocked out of them. We got 50-year-old guys that are getting injuries because they're standing in the middle of 20-year-old mega athletes getting run over at full speed. They got a simple rule. They're throwing them behind you. Quit whining like a big bitch.
We've all seen you call the fake plays up at the line, We're all very impressed with that, but I agree. Play the game.
Play the game,
yeah,
Johnny.
So, looking forward, Week 1, September 9th, Vikings Saints. What's your thoughts?
It's a hell of a way to open up the season. I wish it was against a softer opponent, as Favre, I think, needs a little more time to get comfortable back there. But he does know this offense. Similar offense to what was run in Green Bay. I think he'll be okay. I actually think we're going to see some good things out of the new receivers. Greg Camarillo and maybe even Javon Walker gets in there. And I think Shionko is going to be a difference maker in this game, along with Adrian Peterson, who has something to prove. He made some what I feel are game-changing fumbles in the NFC Championship. I think he's going to run all over him.
I agree. I think it's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be fun. The Saints are still looking to be the best team in the league, but the Vikings should have beat them last year, and I think they're going to do it.
I mean, let's not joke around here. We all want the Vikings to win this game, but pound for pound, you're looking at probably the two best teams in the NFC, and the Saints are the defending champions for a reason. This preseason, there's no doubt that the Saints look stronger than the Vikings, which doesn't necessarily mean anything. But it shows you that the Saints haven't lost a step, and they are not taking anything lightly. So they're going to come prepared. The game's going to be in New Orleans. It's a primetime game. It's going to be that crazy, whacked out New Orleans atmosphere. And the Vikings are going to be an underdog for a reason, because the Saints are, I think, a better team, especially when they're playing at home. With that said, the Vikings have all the talent that you would need to beat the Saints. It just comes down to a matter of execution. Can you execute on the road? If the Vikings can do that, they can come out of there with the win. But they're going to have to play pretty flawless. They're going to have to protect the hell out of Favre, because the Saints proved last time that they got together that they can get under the ground. This preseason, Favre's been going to the ground. So the Vikings got to figure out some things and quit rotating that offensive line around.
Tune in next week with Ben Watson,
Derek Ellingson,
And Ryan John McGivern. Thanks for watching the preseason episode of the Viking